I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly, even if it's just to yourself. It was the primary question I sat with in my 7-week dark retreat this summer. It's 49 days, pure isolation, pure darkness. Here was the question. Are you living a soulless life or a soul-led life? Because there's a difference, a massive one. And I think you probably know exactly which side you're on right now. You see, a soulless life, at least here in the West, it looks successful from the outside. You've got the degree, you've got the career, you've got the income, right? You've got the wife, the husband, the 2.5 kids, you own multiple homes, those kids are in private school, you know what Montessori is. Maybe you've checked all of the societal boxes you've been told to check, and yet you feel nothing. Or worse, you feel disconnected, you feel fragmented. Like you're watching your life happen from the sidelines instead of actually living it. You're not in the damn fight. I talk to people all day long across multiple domains, and this is what I hear so much, so often. There has to be something more than getting up, eating breakfast, going to work, coming home, eating dinner, watching TV, having a couple drinks, scrolling social media, wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over till the weekend that I spend watching football, or I spend binging Bridgerton, and then to spend the next day preparing to do it all over again. There has to be something more. Or I'm so exhausted, I'm so fatigued, I don't know how I'm going to live one more week on this hamster wheel. I hear this all the time. So maybe you can relate. Now, let's talk about a soul-led life. One where you actually engaged with depth, because there's a difference. As I said, there's a depth to it that can't be reached just by checking boxes, but you can still check those boxes. But this is where your soul is your compass. When you're unified, you're not managing 3 separate versions of yourself. It's when you're awake, when you're energized, when you're fully alive because you've stopped performing and you've started being. Now, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 transformations that happen when you go from soulless to soul-led. And I'm going to tell you about OLSLAI. OLSLAI, God bless it, the 8-week process I built to help you make this shift, actually make it. But let's first talk about where you may be right now. This is the problem, right? I call it's the fragmented life. And here's what I know about most of you watching and listening to this right now. You're living 3 separate lives. Even if you swear you're not. There's the public one, right? The version you show the world. The polished, put together version. This is the guy or the woman who has your shit figured out, right? If I look at your social media, this is what I will most likely see. Even if you don't have social media, this is what I would probably see if you did. And we're all guilty of this to some degree. I know I certainly was. Then there's the private life, the one you share with the select people, your close friends, maybe your partner. The stuff you don't broadcast, but you're also not hiding it, right? We all have that life. And then there's the secret life. This is the one I'm most interested in. The one you won't even admit to yourself. The closets you keep locked. The desires you've shoved down. The truth you're terrified to face. The secret one. This is the big one. When I gave this talk, I gave a talk about 2 weeks ago. Public talk where I first presented OLSLAI to the world. And I said to people, how many of you feel like you're living a public life, a private life, a secret life? And I had them close their eyes so they wouldn't see anybody else in the room. Every single hand went up. And I'll tell you, people came up to me at that talk afterwards, literally shaking, saying, I don't even know what to do with what you just presented to me. It's going to change my whole life. It's going to require me to grow. It's going to require me to admit some stuff. But man, this is going to change my whole life. I literally had people come up to me shaking. That's how big this stuff is. It's exhausting trying to manage all 3. It is exhausting you. Most likely, you're scrolling to numb out. You're drinking more than you'd like to admit. You're staying busy so you don't have to feel the void. You've achieved everything you were supposed to want, and somehow you're more lost than ever and more exhausted than ever trying to manage the facade. This fragmentation, trust me, it's killing you, my friend. Male or female, anything in between, it's killing you slowly. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It's quiet, but it's killing you, and your soul knows it. I know because I lived it. I lived in 17 different addresses in the 9 years after my divorce. 17. I was running from place to place because nowhere felt like home. Because I didn't know myself well enough to be known by anybody else. I could feel my heart, but I had no relationship whatsoever with anything deeper. And it wasn't until I spent those 7 weeks alone in complete darkness this summer in Italy that it all came together. Because in that darkness, when all of the noise of the world was completely gone, I heard something that changed everything. I had this mantra that I was telling myself every day, hundreds and hundreds of times a day. There's a whole story to it, which I won't get into it, but the mantra was one life, all in, no cone. I had seen my dog have to put a cone, the cone you have to put on your dog? I'd watched my dog fight that, and I was like, no way, I'm living one life, I'm going all in, and no one will ever have a cone on me. But it didn't quite land. That mantra just didn't quite land. And one morning, as I was walking the 5 steps of the room back and forth for the 100th, if not 1,000th, or whatever time of the day, I heard this word, OLSLAI. Now the room was silent, and I was like, what the hell is OLSLAI? And folks, I waited, and I waited, and I waited. I was just like, don't drop a word on me and then not tell me what it is. And I kept walking back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then I heard it. One life, soul led, all in. I just got chills telling you that story. Whew. One life, soul led, all in. OLSLAI. That guiding principle, OLSLAI, became and still is my North Star. It was my way out of fragmentation and into deep integration. And what came with it was this beautiful map. 7 domains that get emerged one by one, week after week in the dark. Each one building on the last, each one essential to living a soul-led life. And I'll be honest, I sat with each one of these for a week straight alone, asking myself, what would it take to live out that domain from a soulful place, rather than a fearful or even an egoic place? But before I tell you about the 7 domains, I want to share with you what's possible. Because transformation's not abstract, is it? It's specific. It's moving from one state to another, from soulless to soul-led. And there are 10 specific shifts that I find happen when you do this work. So let me walk you through them. Number 1, you go from feeling disconnected to connected. You stop feeling like a stranger in your own life. You stop feeling like a stranger in your own body. You reconnect to yourself, to others, and to something much deeper. And I don't care, this isn't about religion. So it may be that you have a deep relationship with God, but this is something different. This is inside of you. Number 2, you go from fragmented to integrated. Those 3 lives that I talked about before, they collapse into one. No more public version, private version, and secret version. Just you living unified whole. No, you don't have to blast all of your secrets out on Facebook. Please don't do that. But you get to live one life, and that is a beautiful, energizing, aliveness-bringing thing. Number 3, moving from stuck to unstuck, to moving, right? You've been frozen for so long, you forgot what momentum feels like. Momentum is beautiful. Aligning with this type of a program or this type of idea gets you unstuck and moving forward again. Number 4, you go from being lonely to feeling like you belong. Not just being around other people, but actually belonging in your body, in the world, connected to the soul of the world, being known at depth, having a community that sees you, or having your community actually see you, even if that community is only 3 people. Number 5, shifting from numb into awake and alive. Gosh, you've been sleepwalking for so much of your life. And it's okay. This program, this idea, this process, it wakes you up fully, even when it hurts, right? This is what aliveness feels like. Number 6, transitioning from uninspired to inspired. Life stops feeling gray. It goes from black and white to high def color because you remember what it's like to be excited about something, to feel pulled forward by something real, to be connected to yourself, to be connected to depth. I'll say that 50 more times. Number 7, going from fatigued to energized. The exhaustion lifts, not because you're doing less, but because you're fueled by something deeper than trauma or willpower. Number 8, going from sad to feeling alive. Not happy, but alive. There's more to the feeling than just happiness. I'm a fan of happiness, but nothing beats aliveness. Aliveness is fully energized. It's feeling the full range of being human again instead of flatlined and empty. Number 9, shifting out of performing and into authentic expression. The mask comes off, right? You stop managing personas and start showing up as yourself, fully and unapologetically. Authentic expression. Number 10, going from lost to purpose-driven. Feeling lost is one of the most painful human experiences there is, especially for men, but also for women. So with this process, you find your footing, you know who you are, you know what you're doing with your one precious life, and you know why. This is what soul-led living looks like. And it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional work across 7 specific domains. The 7 domains of OLSLAI. As I said, each one builds on the last, and you can't skip ahead. You can't bypass the hard ones. Number 1, home and safety. This is the foundation. This is where you live in your body. And when you create a sense of feeling safe enough to build something, to build the life that you want to build, you won't build the life you want to build if you don't feel at home inside of you and safe in the world. Number 2, sex and creativity. This is your life force. This is what happens when your desire actually gets to be expressed instead of getting shut down by fear and shame. Number 3 is around money and power. This is your relationship with agency, how you wield influence, as opposed to how you let it wield you. Lots of shadow with money and power, isn't there? Number 4, love and connection. This is the heart of it. It's your capacity to give and receive love without armor. To be in relationship, to allow contact, to be loved. The 5th section, or week 5 of this, is voice, choice, and truth, where you stop performing and start speaking what's true. Where you face whether your inner victim is running the microphone or you get to have a hold of it yourself. The 6th section, or the 6th week, is around wisdom and death. This is the long view, folks. I've worked in hospice for a long time. We're all headed there. This is what you see when you stop pretending you're going to live forever. This will reorient your priorities massively. When you realize and you fully drop into the idea, I'm not going to be here forever, you stop caring about a lot of unimportant stuff. And the last section is rebirth and God, whatever that means to you. This is the return. This is where you come back into the light of your life with your soul leading. Now, here's something I got to tell you. This isn't a journey you take willy-nilly while you're scrolling your phone in the background. This is life restructuring. If you're going to do this, here's what it requires. Daily meditation, sobriety. You kill your television. You turn off social media. Right? You actually engage with the question I asked you. You engage with the work. This is for people who are done pretending. So if you're curious about exploring this, check out the link I have in the caption below, or go to www.traverboehm.com/OLSLAI. Here's to your new life, the soul-led one.